All right, yo, this is a short explanation of Next.js server components because I think people are still confused. I have a simple page. It has two things. It has a calculator and a post component. And if you look at what it looks like, let's go here. The calculator is a basic boom, 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 done equals boom. And then the posts is just a random posts like component. And Drizzle Studio, this is the database management thing. And you can see all the posts here, super basic. Now, if we go to the calculator component, the main difference between a server component and a client component is that like on a server component, for example here, this code runs on the server, and then whatever it outputs, this sort of the HTML here, that's what's sent to the client. Whereas if we go back, if we go back to the client component, oh my goodness, if you go back to the client component, not only does the output of this thing go to the client and run on your phone, your internet browser, whatever, not only does the output of this go to the client, but also the code itself goes to the client. The code itself is sent to the browser. And what that allows you to do is you can make interactive experiences in the client. You can't really do that with server components. All right, if I go back here on the server component, since this is running on the server, what that means is that I can access the database because this is running on the server. So I can access my right here I'm using Drizzle, but you can use whatever you want. You can do database queries and then make the HTML out, based off of what the database query gave you, because again, this is running on the server. Whereas if you go back on the client component, because this is running on the client, you can't really do database queries, but you can make interactive, you can use state, and you can make interactive components. That's basically it. Now, one last thing is that the server component right here, it is somewhat interactive because you can clear posts and you can add a couple random ones. So how does that work? The way we had some amount of interactivity on the server is by using forms. And if you know anything about HTML forms, it basically lets you send data from the browser to the server. And so you can use HTML forms to sort of do actions on the server, to run stuff on the server. Like if you look at this right here, this is just a function that runs on the server and it just inserts a random post. But that's it. Again, the core difference between, let's go here. The core difference between a calculator and the posts is that on the calculator, because it is a client component and it has use client here at the top, the code is sent to the client, it's sent to the browser, sent to your Google Chrome. Whereas on the server component, the code is not sent to your, I mean, there's not a lot of code. It's basically all markup. There's a very little setup code here. But on server components, whatever code you have here is not sent to the client. What happens is this just runs on your server, and then whatever output it has, that's sent. Whereas again, on the client component, it's not just the output, but the code itself is sent. But that's kind of it. Other than that, that's it. That's 100%. That's not even 99. That's 100% of all you need to know. So yeah, peace out. One last thing I forgot, this use server at the top tells it that it's a server component, and this use client at the top tells it that it's a client component. If you don't have anything, if you delete this, boom, boom, it defaults to just being a server component. So use server is not really necessary because by default they're all server components. I just did that for illustration. But yeah, use client tells it to put it on the client, use server tells it to put it on the server. And if you don't have anything, it just by default puts it on the server. So yeah.